Alright. What is up, everyone? Multi Apples here, bringing another live stream on Twitch and Kick, and I'm bringing another video on YouTube. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Go ahead and load the tournament. I'm playing some EA Sports FC 25. I hope you're all doing well. I am doing well, thanks for asking. In case you're wondering, so yeah, let's go ahead and get this party started. It's match day. We are playing the Philadelphia Union in our tournament. So, I guess we can go with this lineup. Also, throw on my glasses. So yeah. How's everyone doing? I'm doing well, thanks for asking. I hope you are all doing well too. I do apologize if you can hear my computer in the background. I know it's overheating a little bit, so I don't know really how to fix that. So if you have any ideas, anyone watching this, feel free to let me know. Alright, we're playing it's gonna be an away game for us. We're playing against the Philadelphia Union, as I mentioned. I'm playing as Ajax Amsterdam. We're in first, though. Now, the Union are a pretty good team in Major League Soccer. Ajax, I think, is in second place in the Eredivisie right now. We're 6 points behind PSV in the standings, in the table standings. So I'm not sure. I know when at least the playoffs are starting in the second round. I'm not sure where the MLS Cup standings are now in the playoffs, where they are. I think the season's almost over if it hasn't ended already. It should have ended like recently. Not this weekend, so. As we score with Broby there. Mika Goetz and Brian Broby have scored for us now. 3:16 p.m. on December 18th, 2024 at the time of this live stream. Don't know when it'll be uploaded on Twitch, or onto YouTube, I mean, but it will be uploaded onto YouTube. And if it's under 2 hours, it'll be uploaded to Daily Motion as well, my Daily Motion channel. So if you're watching on Kick, my Daily Motion and Twitch channels are the same names as my Kick channel. And if you're watching on Twitch, I should have both YouTube and Daily Motion linked down below. But if not, I will actually go ahead and link them now. In case you're interested in watching either. I have more content on YouTube and Daily Motion than I do on Twitch, because Twitch will delete your live streams after a certain amount of time. I think it's like 90 days if you're like a Prime user. As Brian Broby gets a double there. Yeah, but I think it's like 30 or 60 days if you're like a non-Prime user. And I have my account connected to Amazon Prime. See, Ajax has been playing a lot better, I think, since the beginning of last season. At least compared to last season, they're playing a heck of a lot better. As a team, though. I think the only one really struggling would be Brian Brobby. And he's not a bad player, don't get me wrong. It's just he's just really struggling to score this year. And I'm sure that'll happen to like every soccer player where they'll have like especially the wingers or the forwards or the strikers, they'll have maybe like a period of time where they really just struggle to score. And this right now just happens to be a period where Brian Barber is struggling, and I'm sure he will enter a period of his career where the goals will come naturally to him, and it happens. He just happens to be struggling, and he has scored though. He has scored some amazing goals this year, by the way. But for the most part, he's been struggling to score, and but I know if anyone can get out of I know if any striker can actually get out of the funk of not scoring or struggling to score, it's Brian Brobby. He definitely has a talent, and he's definitely been trying. It's just, I guess, bad luck for him. He's not a bad player. But I mean, he's not a bad player. But like I'm sure all the players have been really struggling at some aspect for Ajax. But he's just like, I think for him, he's like really expected to score, and he's just been struggling in that aspect. But he's been pretty good on defense though, and he's been really good at passing and all the other aspects. So I guess entering the season, I guess we expected as Ajax fans. I guess I kind of expected the goals to come from him, and there haven't been as many goals as I thought, as I thought there would be from him, and there hasn't been as many goals from him compared to this point in the last season for him. So he scored more goals last season than he did at this point last season. I'm sure than he did this season. It happens that each player in a sport will go through periods where they're just doing very well, regardless of the team. And how the team's doing, they'll go through periods where they're just really struggling, regardless of how well the team is doing. And it just happens to be a period where he is struggling in terms of scoring. So, but it's not like he's been a terrible player. He's just compared to the amount of goals he had last season. Yeah, I thought he would have more goals this season. So he's just been struggling that part, but for the most part, he's been pretty good. See, there have been times where I think it's the game when Ajax drew or lost. I don't remember against who, where he scored a couple of goals or like maybe assisted and passed on a couple of goals, or assisted a couple of goals, and he scored a goal. And I think Ajax lost as well, but he played phenomenally well in that game. So it's not. Yeah, but anyway, but then there have been games where Ajax as a team hasn't really played up to their standard as well as they should have this season, but more often than not, as a team, and as all the players individually, they all play well as a team, and they all play well individually. For the most part, they have been doing that this season, better this season than last season. So, Robbie has earned a break, so we're gonna put on Van Den Boomen, and Mansver can actually come on for. I was a defensive midfielder. We're gonna put him on for Burkhouse, and I have Goltz, and Klaassen switch places. We're gonna have Goltz actually come out for Vindal. Also watch Real Madrid. I always mention that in my soccer streams, my soccer videos. I watch Real Madrid and I watch Ajax, and just Real Madrid has the talent to actually do well. They're in third place in La Liga, and they're like 20th in the Champions League, which you wouldn't expect them to be 20th in the Champions League. You would expect Real Madrid to be near the top as we score there. So, but they've had a myriad of issues um, this season so far. They've had some injuries to a lot of their defensive players that have been starting. Militao had, I think, an ACL or MCL injury in one leg, and then he got the same exact injury in the other leg. So he's out after playing a couple of games, and he came back in the middle of the season. Alaba's been out. Mendy's been out, I think, for a little bit. Um, if you look at on the stats on a sheet of paper, you wouldn't think Mbappe's playing terribly. But at the same time, for his talent, he hasn't been really living up to the hype for the talent as I'm lagging on Twitch and YouTube, or Twitch and Kick, I mean. Let me make some substitutions really quick. So let's bring out Taylor for Rugani, and I'm gonna bring out Anton Gay for Henderson. Give Henderson some rest. Oh, we can't make any more substitutions, can we? Yeah, we're out of substitutions. Yeah, it's just like from the amount of talent he has, you expect Mbappe to play better than what his stats show. Bellingham's a really good defensive forward now. A defensive, he's good at both ends actually. He's a very good defensive and offensive player now. Vinny has been playing well on offense and defense. Van Den Boomen scored there. And Rodrigo, whenever he plays, has been playing well. I know he's been injured for a little bit. There have been problems with injuries for Real Madrid, and complaints from some of the players in regards to their training regimen that they believe is causing them to get injured. So I don't know too much about that, but I'm not there in the practice facility. I'm not educated on training athletes, let alone professional soccer players. So I don't know enough about that to form an opinion. I'm sure they would know what's causing the injuries better than I am. So Danny Carvajal's there, in my opinion, outside of Lunin and Thibaut Courtois, Danny Carvajal's their best defensive player, I think, and actually Bellingham as well. But you wouldn't expect that Bellingham to be a defensive player because he's more of a winger or a striker or midfielder at best. So I'm not sure what his prefer. I know Rodrigo, Mbappe, Vinny, and Bellingham all prefer like they all play they all prefer the same position, and that's on the left hand side. As like a winger or a forward, I guess. I'm not as familiar with the positions of soccer as I am compared to other sports. So, if you're a soccer fan, I'm sure you can educate me on what they prefer. But I do know, I guess I know what they do, and the names. I'm not as confident in my ability to know what their strengths and weaknesses are. Oh, that's unfortunate. I feel bad for Philly because that's an own goal. That is an own goal. That's just awful. Oh man, because he blocked that, but then it went off the defender, and the defender didn't get control of that. So I feel sorry for Flock. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Lake Flock. I don't know. I feel sorry for him because I always feel sorry for people who score own goals. Because more often than not, it's never intentional. I know there's been games where I know of a game at least where a team has actually intentionally allowed or intentionally scored own goals in protest of certain decisions, but I'd say most of the own goals tend to be accidental. They don't intend they're not intentional, and I was even if it helps the team I'm cheering for or rooting for, like Real Madrid or Ajax, uh, you know, say like a team is playing a Real Madrid and Ajax, and they get an own goal to give Real Madrid or Ajax the lead. I'll always feel sorry for the team, especially for the player, because they don't intend to give Ajax or Real Madrid a lead and that's not well any team really. I always feel sorry for the players because they don't intend to. They usually don't allow for goals to go in. Oh gosh, I want to say it's Ajax versus maybe AZ, maybe AZ, or it was a recent game for Ajax, but in the Eredivisie that I watched, and both goalies got an own goal, and both times it was unintentional. It was like things they would normally do to keep. Normally they would do it the way they hit the ball, the way they deflected the ball was into their goal, but it was not. They're doing ways that normally keep the ball out of the goal. Both Remco Pasveer for Ajax and the opposing goal. I can't remember which team, but both goalies, when they tried to deflect the shot, it came off of them and actually went into the goal. And I think had they done what they did in a different part of the field while defending, it wouldn't have gone in. But it just so happened with where they were in the game, where they were on the field, it deflected off of them into the goal. So it's sort of hard for me to explain without actually showing you guys it. But I'm not, and I can't. But just the way they deflected, and in any other situation would have kept the ball out of the goal. But in that specific situation, they allowed an own goal, and that wasn't intentional. So it ended in a 2-2 draw, by the way. So I guess in a sense, both goalies are a bit happy and relieved that they didn't cost their team, the loss. But I am lagging on Twitch, so what I'll do is I will actually just go ahead and end the stream after this game, and I'll just continue talking. So if you're watching on Twitch, I don't know why I'm lagging, but if you're watching on Twitch or Kick, go to my YouTube. If you want to see the remainder of this, I guess, video, see what happens after this game, just go onto YouTube and see go to the YouTube channel Multi Apples. So to see what happens after this. Because if you're on YouTube, you can just continue watching the video. So not so much that my computer overheats that worries me. It's just the noise it's making when I'm commentating, because I'm not sure it's pleasant to hear if you're like a viewer, and I don't really know how to fix that. I'm not the most tech savvy person. So yeah, let's go ahead and end the stream. So we'll be playing Chelsea, who's in 6th place. Let's take a look at the standings, actually, now. I don't know why all the groups in white, but we're in 1st place. Juventus is in 2nd, Real Madrid is in 3rd, Nice is in 4th, then Fulham, then Chelsea, then VfL Wolfsburg, then the Union. The top 4 teams go on in each group. Let's take a look at the stats for my team. So everyone has played in a game. Only Pasveer has played in every game. Henderson and Wrench have, as well as Sutalo and Bass, have played in all but one game. So Linson and Tahirovic have only played in one game. So I'm going to play them next. And Rasmussen as well. Maybe Jay Gorter. Have Jay Gorter coming in at halftime. Match day, and let's actually have Bano come in. Yonsei can actually come in for or actually Yoro Hato this game. I'm going to start Traore over Miko Goetz. I'm going to leave Brian Bobby as the starter. I have Tahirovic in for Henderson. And Linson can come off the bench. Same with Golder, and then we can have Veghorst come off the bench as well, and same with Keon Fitzjim. So we can start Hato next game. Some drinks with me. I got some Cool Blue Gatorade with me. It's a really good drink. I like it. Got some Diet Coke with me as well. Like they have Santa Claus on it. And I have Cherry Coke is zero with me. This one does not have Santa Claus. I don't know why I thought it did, but it doesn't. But WhatsApp being promoted, that's always a good telecommunications app on your phone. You use WhatsApp. Not a bad service in my opinion. Alright, we've Kenneth Taylor in the game. Unfortunately got tackled there. I'd say right now Bertrand Traore is my favorite player. I'm also a fan of Brian Brobby. I like Brobby, but I like him and Traore for different reasons. I think of all the Ajax players, I think Brian Brobby's the hardest working. He's the one that really tries the most in each game. Or at least he's the one I notice trying the most to win in each game. So I like him for that. And then Bertrand Traore, he's always, whenever a teammate scores and he's on the field, or he's always he scores the way he celebrates makes me a fan of him, and he's always the one. Like whenever a teammate scores, he's always like one of the first ones to celebrate, and he's always like one of the first ones to congratulate the teammate that scored. So like as a team player, in terms of like boosting morale, I think he's going in terms of team players going out of your way to boost your teammates' morale. I think he's the best one on that team. He's like always smiling and always positive. So I was, those are the kind of people you can't help but root for. And then Brian Brobby, as I mentioned, is like the hardest working, and he's the one that tries the most. And those are also people you can't help but root for because you always, they, you know, not specifically Brian Brobby, but I'm talking about anyone in general. They may be the hardest working, but they may not necessarily be the best, the most gifted player in the world. But they're definitely the hardest working and the most talented, and I think they'll get farther in their careers than those that are more talented. That especially if the talented people don't try. There have been cases of talented people in sports that have all the talent in the world, but they don't try and they have relatively short careers. And then there are people who are hardworking, but they're not naturally talented at a game. But they're hardworking and they develop their talents and they have lengthy and long careers. So I'd rather take someone who's hardworking and will try to win games for me as a player than someone who is talented but doesn't care if your team wins or loses. Let me mute my mic. So, I was talking about hard work and talent. At least in terms of American football, someone who's really talented but wasn't the hardest working athlete was Jamarcus Russell, who was the number one overall pick in 2007, and he, according to the coaches and the teammates and the people that work for the Raiders, the now Las Vegas Raiders, but they were in Oakland when he played, but he wasn't the hardest working person on the field. He wasn't the hardest working player there. So, but yeah, the guy like Tom Brady, who played for New England for 20 years, and then his final couple of seasons he played for Tampa Bay, and he was drafted in the 6th round, where both Jamarcus Russell and Tom Brady uh, played quarterback, and Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round, and quarterbacks that are drafted where he was drafted rarely get the opportunity to play. And when they do play, they rarely have lengthy careers as long as he did. And they really don't have the career success that he did, but he was more hardworking. Don't get me wrong, you have players that, especially in American football, that get drafted number one overall that are both talented and hardworking. I know Cam Newton's one example of a player that's hardworking and talented, especially at a quarterback position. It's a shame Cam Newton never won a Super Bowl. I know Ryan Leaf is another quarterback that's considered a bust, but I think uh, he wasn't really the hardest working guy either, but there were also other reasons contributing, I think. Well, maybe not to his, downfall, so. I'm sure there were actually, I'm sure, I'm sure for Jamarcus Russell there weren't, not being hard, not having that work ethic is also one of actually several issues that he was lacking for him to succeed. Some out of their controls, I think some outside of their control, those athletes' controls, like for guys like Ryan Leaf and Jamarcus Russell, but also for the most part, it was the reason they didn't succeed in the NFL was because of their actions. For the most part, I know Ryan Leaf and had some addiction issues, so I think maybe. But then, I think both of them had at one point, wasn't bad, but it wasn't exactly good either. That had different kinds of addictions. So, but they seem to be in a better place now, which is good. Well, I actually played Gordon next game. I just realized I can't sub him in. I know. I actually recently, within the past year or two, listened to an interview Jamarcus Russell did. Don't remember when he did it, but he seems to be in a much better, healthier place, which is good. He's like in a healthier mindset and a better place. Granted, he is alleged to have committed theft, so not sure. From high school, in regards to like paying for some gear, not really paying the high school, from my understanding. I'm not sure what. I know he was. like he was doing court, or he is expected to, like he had a court date, or he is expected to be in court. So, and then I labeled it as addiction, but I'm not sure if it actually was. But something did have problems with, like some type of drink. I think Ryan Leaf, not sure actually as well. So don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, and if I am, I do apologize to both men. And then unfortunately, Ryan Leaf had a lot more serious, much more serious legal issues to deal with. So you never want to see anyone, commit any crimes, or have any trouble with the law. So I just hope they're both in a better place now, as we score a header there with Wout Weghorst. I know Jamarcus Russell was accused of theft, but the trial, to my knowledge, last time I checked, was still ongoing. But by all accounts, at least Ryan Leaf seems to be in a better place now, which is good. He actually appeared on WWE television recently, like within the past month, which is good. It's nice to know that he's not in trouble and he's living a good life now. Whenever someone does something wrong, or has issues with, you always want to see them do better, and you always want to see them do good, and live a healthier and positive lifestyle. So whenever they do something wrong, I'm all for holding people accountable, but whenever they change their life around, they should deserve praise for when they change their life around. And it seems like Ryan Leaf has, for the most part now, has changed his life around, but at least that's at the time of his recording, and I hope he doesn't get into any more trouble. I just hope the allegations against Jamarcus Russell aren't true, and if they are, I hope he is fairly punished for the, if the allegations are true. I don't know if the allegations are true or not, but you don't want to see you. I say this for anyone. You don't want anyone to do anything awful, and you don't want them to actually be accused of something they never did. So. I'm all for whenever a crime is committed, or when a crime is alleged to have committed, at the very least, I'm all for believing, believing the victims, but I'm also believing that the alleged person's innocent until at least all the information comes out. Now, if it comes out and it turns out that person that was alleged to have committed a crime is innocent, then they should not be punished for it, obviously. But if after the information comes out that they did do something wrong, they should if you do something wrong, you should definitely be held accountable for it and fairly punished. But if you're accused of something and you didn't do it, then you shouldn't be punished for it. So I know it's contradictory, but at least both sides should be heard out and believed until the information is available to everyone. At least when it comes to the court of public opinion. Now, whether it's punishing someone, I guess it depends on the crime and the ethical situation behind it. I know each situation is different. But I don't know. Anyway, enough about that. Some of the more heavy topics, but I don't know. Oh yeah, went down a weird rabbit hole. But anyway, sorry about that. Oh, we scored again. That's good. Raining. Well, a week away from Christmas, actually. It's always crummy weather here in the U.S. for during winter. I like. Don't get me wrong. I like the holiday seasons. It's just I don't like the weather aspect, the bad weather. November's really when the weather starts getting bad. By the time Thanksgiving comes, you know, the weather is, pretty miserable here in the US, where I live. But I always enjoy Christmas and I always enjoy New Year's Day and New Year's Eve. My birthday's in February, so the weather usually isn't that good. Around my birthday, it's not like during the summertime where it's warm. I live in the U.S. I spent most of my life in the U.S. So for me, my birthday has always been during cold weather. So usually it doesn't start getting warm until it doesn't start getting cold until about November, and it usually doesn't start getting warm until about March, April-ish. I remember a few years ago actually, it snowed on my for my birthday. I wanted to go in February. I wanted to go actually to like IHOP or I don't remember where, but I wanted to go somewhere, but I couldn't. So what I did was I Uber Eats, and they could understandably they couldn't come down the hill, so I at least come down my street. So what I did was I walked up the street and actually got some McDonald's. Met the Uber driver. Anyway, we won the game. Maybe I should adjust the difficulty after winning like 10-0 and 8-0. So we should have one more game. To play at least in the so have pass restart, but we're gonna have Golder come on. Can give Robbie the day off and Berghaus the game off as well. Have Akpom come in. And Linson on the bench. I think those are going to be the final pre-games changes I'll make to the starting lineup for this game against Juventus. If I remember correctly, they were our first game in the tournament, in the created tournament, so. This is a 64 team tournament, and I have teams represented from every league. Every league in the game, that is. I have one or two international teams. The international team I know for sure, off the top of my head, that's in the game is Qatar. Now I know the A League, Liga, and MLS. The A League is the Australian league, by the way. But Liga, which is the French league, and Major League Soccer has teams in 2 different countries. So what I did was for the Liga, which is French, because the majority of the teams are French, but they have one team in Monaco. So what I did is I put Monaco in the game. I put Monaco in the tournament and France, the French one French Liga team. And then I know I think the island of Corsica has a team in League 2, so I put a team off of the island of Corsica and then mainland France as well. And same with Serie B in Italy. They had one team on an Italian-owned island and one team in mainland Italy, which I put the one island team in the mainland Italian team. I don't know the name of the Italian island off the top of my head, so. Well, there's a rest of the world division, and I put like one team from every country available in the rest of the world, so. And they have separate for the men's and international teams. That's considered separate because they have like Olympiacos or Karabakh or HJK Helsinki in the rest of the world team. Those are like club teams that I put into the tournament, for example. And then the international, they'll have like Argentina or Qatar or Brazil or whatever. And I put Qatar in, so. I know the A-League has teams in Australia and New Zealand. And actually, Auckland FC is in their first season in the A-League. They're a newly created team and an expansion team. So I decided to have them represent New Zealand and have from the A-League. And then have, I think it was Brisbane Roar, represent the Australian part of the A-League. And then Major League Soccer has teams in the US and Canada. So I put in the Philadelphia Union for Major League, for the American side of the. You need to make a sub. So I put in Major League Soccer for the. Oh yeah, I put in the Philadelphia Union for the American side of Major League Soccer, and I think I put in CF Montreal in the for the Canadian side. It's either them or Vancouver. And I know the teams in Major League Soccer that are Canadian are actually the Vancouver Whitecaps, Toronto FC, and Montreal. Despite Canada having their own top level team or top level league, and New Zealand has their own top level division as well. So Keon Fitzgerald is injured until he has to come out. Personally, I'd like to see more leagues being included into EA Sports FC. I'd eventually like to see if EA can actually get the licensing for them, I'd like to see, every top league for men's and women's being represented in EA Sports FC, but I think for now the biggest issue would be licensing. Because I'm sure in terms of file size, EA can get the can make it happen where if they were to make if they were to get the licensing, you could have it in a relatively small size for the game to be downloaded for and actually get the licensing for all the players on the Xbox and PlayStation consoles. I think their biggest issue mainly is actually getting the licensing for the league. So personally, the leagues I want to see the most. I want to see a team. I want to see if they were to I'd love to see an African league actually be represented, because I know every year they have a couple of South African teams, represented in the EA Sports FC/FIFA series, and I'm glad. They have like a couple of club teams and maybe like a one or two national teams in every game, and that's it. But they never have like a league, like a full league, like they do for Europe or Asia or North America or South America. And for Oceania, I'd like to see like a top league in Oceania as well, because they seem to just have the only Oceania, the only teams based in Oceania either play in the A League and thus aren't eligible to qualify for the for the Asian Champions League, or they play or it's the New Zealand men's and women's national football team. Not that I'm against having those teams in the game, I am, but I'd like to see like maybe like the top division of New Zealand or the top division of Fiji or the Solomon Islands or Papua New Guinea represented in the EA Sports FC series. And they'll always have like a couple of teams from South Africa and maybe the South African men's national team, and then in recent years they put in the Ghana national team for men's, which I'm glad they did. But I want them to see like maybe like put in future games, put in like maybe like the entire South African top division league or the Nigerian league or the Ghana Premier League, or the appropriate names for them. But have more. And then of course I'm of Trinidadian descent, so I'd love to see the TT Pro League get put into the game as well. That'd be cool. Right, I'm gonna turn off my mic and my face cam now.
The card is forthcoming. And that is going to mean a caution.
The referee is absolutely right. He knew what he was doing there.
And you've got to say meat and drink to those in the wall. And the whistle is sounded.
Drie wissels bij Ajax.
Away they go again. Second half is underway here.
Goals. Nummer 8, Taylor. En nummer 18, Davy Klaassen. Die maakt plaats.
Using the wide route could be beneficial for Juve.
Linsen. Nummer 27, Van Axel.
And a very good challenge.
21, Van der Bomen.
The defenders know you can't really allow space like that. He must finish! And that is defending of the highest order. Now, can they hit them on the counter? They need to get bodies back. And this to level it. An alert piece of defending. Well, again, it breaks down for them. And it's opening up. Well, it's a moment he would like to have back if possible. Well, the referee deciding to let the play flow, but now it will be a booking, Stuart.
Well, as soon as the ball went dead, he was always going to book him, and he's absolutely right to do so.
Yildiz. Douglas Luiz. Oh, great attacking play. But fair play, that goes down as a very good recovery. Yildiz. Offside the decision. And a Juventus personnel change here. Trying to really get at the opposition here. Oh, big chance! And there it is! A two-goal cushion now, and they just need to keep the concentration.
Well, as you can see, this is absolutely brilliant. He's such a good runner with the ball, and it's a great individual goal. Brilliant from him.
Back underway with the lead standing at 2-0. Space galore for Juventus. And possibilities here. Bodies forward and the break looks on. Well, the fans want to see a shot. Well, what a stop that was. Douglas Luiz. Nicolas Gonzalez. Might be able to get in behind the defence. Nicely timed tackle. You don't want to give the ball away there. Plenty of support here. Well, that's how to keep the opposition at bay. Potentially a chance to do damage on the flank for Juve. Now this could really lift spirits. Still a chance. And there it is, a goal. I must say, much to the annoyance of the keeper.
Well, as you can see, the first save is a good one, but they can't react quickly enough to the second ball. The keeper's a bit unlucky, really.
So there we have it, 2-1.
Nummer 14, Arkadiusz Milik.
Schutalo. Van den Bomen. Well, we're inside the final quarter of an hour now. Rens. Van den Bomen. And possession given up by Henderson. Real chance. Being egged on by the crowd. A goal! That's two for him today. They simply can't stop him. No wonder he's celebrating.
Well, as you can see, he doesn't mess about here, does he? He's strong, well-balanced and skillful. That's a top-class finish.
So the ball is moving again. We've been treated to 4 goals. 3-1 the score. 10 minutes to go then. Nicolas Gonzalez. Gonzalez with it. It's going to be a Juve throw. tackle. Timothy Weah. Wasteful from Ajax. And there it breaks down, but credit to the defence. Weah. He's in behind. So disappointing for them. This is slithering away.
Well, the clock's ticking faster than they would like. I think that had to go in, Derek.
Is it going to be? Oh, a powerful effort. Close. Well, taking into account all the stoppages, 2 minutes to be added on. And there it is, the final whistle, and the fans will be leaving the stadium with smiles on their faces.
Well, Derek, they were dominant in